Welcome back. Here we are in section 9.2 and you have to start on the right foot. That is, how are you going to make a positive, credible impression on your customer so that you can make the sale happen. So here are a bunch of suggestions that are given here, and I find it easy to open the book and directly talk from the book. So that is what we are going to do right now. Okay, where are we? Okay, how to start off on the right foot. During every sales approach, always get the customer's name right. Okay, if you are talking to one Samantha, you don't want to call them Sam if they don't want to be called Sam. You want to call them Samantha, right? Similarly, if somebody goes by John and you don't want to go and call them Jake, you know that their name starts with the letter J, but you don't know whether it is John or Jake, then it can really create an issue. So one of the most important things you have to recognize is, for any person, the sweetest word in any language is their own name. So you have to get the name right. And always listen. When you start talking, immediately you don't want to go and say, oh, my pen can do this and you have to buy a lot of my pen and we can deliver it in such a nice colors and we can deliver it in big packets or tons and tons of pens. Nobody is really interested in buying the pen from you. You have to listen to what they have got to say. Why are they in the market for a pen? What are they looking for in a pen? You need to know those things. For that, you have to ask questions. If you ask questions, they are going to give you answers. That means you have got to listen. Okay, so that's the another important thing during every sales call that you should be paying attention to. So these are very important. And also be ready with your elevator pitch. You never know who you come across. Let us say you are going to see a manager in a company ABC, okay, and while you are driving there, you know that the company ABC is in a building, and while you are waiting for the elevator, just like that, there is another company CEO is just walking in and they are also entering the same elevator, and you will be in the elevator for next 30 seconds or so, and you have been trying to reach this person for a long time and they are standing next to you. What are you going to do about that? You have to make a positive impression, and that means you need to know what you are going to say in that short duration of time, how you can make a positive impression in 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, so that when they leave, they give you their card and you will be able to get a meeting with them to explain more about your product, which is what we call elevator pitch. So we will talk about it a little later on that. Okay, and when you are approaching by phone, do give your name and the purpose of your call in the first 20 seconds. And that means when you pick up a phone call, you don't want to say, hey, how are you today? Okay, I have gotten a ton of calls like that, and immediately I know that it's a sales call and I don't want to continue that conversation. So if I were to call somebody, I will say, hey, my name is Subbu Kumarappan. I'm a faculty member in Ohio State ATI, and I am trying to reach so-and-so person because I want to invite them to my class, or I want to know whether they would be interested in knowing more about this particular feature that OSU is offering. So I will kind of clearly tell them so that you don't waste their time. Okay, so it's very, very important you know how to leave the right type of impression on the phone, and you have to practice. In fact, when you come to the class for this one, we will be practicing a little bit on how to leave voicemails and how to say hello over the phone and things like that. Do prepare a script for your opening statement. That is, you need to know what you will be talking about. You know that when you are working for let us say a car company, that car has a certain features. Let's say it's a convertible, maybe it has scratch resistant paint, or it has all-wheel drive. So these are the key things, and you have to compulsorily tell those things, or at least that's what the company expects you to do as a car salesperson. That means you need to know that what words you are going to use, because if you change the words, then the meaning can be changed. If you kind of miss out the word scratch resistant, then probably they won't get the real full value of what you have got to tell them, right? So you really have to know what scripts are there and how you can use it for making a positive impression. For instance, when I go for my haircut, when I enter the company Great Clips, the first thing they will say is, hey, welcome to Great Clips. We will be with you in a minute. Okay, that's a standard thing. Similarly, when I go to McDonald's or Burger King, after placing my order, they will say, "Is that all you want? Shall I make this into a combo?" Because these are all standard scripts that the company is teaching their salespeople to tell. Okay, and also if you are calling on the phone, you don't want to assume that they are waiting for your phone call. Obviously not, unless you had already set up the appointment. So sometimes they will be busy, so you have to make sure that that is a good time for them to talk. So please make sure that they are free. And don't start off by asking, "How are you today?" Okay, I have gotten a bunch of messages like that, and immediately I will say, "I'm not interested in what you are selling, so I don't want to buy." Because oftentimes the people that are sleazy, they are the ones, they are like, "Oh, I'm going to take your money and I'm just going to mesmerize you and put you in a trance so that I can take your money." I don't want that type of person, and you don't want to be that type of salesperson as well. And don't launch into prolonged explanations on the phone call, okay? Because phone call can only do certain things. Maybe you need a teleconference, maybe you need to make an actual visit with the customer. You cannot be doing everything from a distance. So that's the most important thing that you have to recognize. Leaving a voicemail message, how to leave effective voicemail message. In fact, the book has some videos that are built in as well, and you will be able to watch some of these videos by clicking on them. Okay, and I don't know whether it will open here or not. If not, you can always right click and open it in a browser and see some of it. And I also give some of these links in the notes, so I encourage you to watch it. Okay, now certain things you have to remember in every phone call, every sales call, every time you approach a customer, and you have to do certain things when it comes to approaching via the phone. Now, if you are approaching via email, what are you going to do? Many times people are contacting first time through email and then say, "Hey, you know what? I'm sending you this email so that you have my contact information, and I will call you on Tuesday at 11 o'clock so that we go from there." Okay. Now, do write a number of emails in different styles and tones. You don't want to send the same email to everybody. Okay. If you are sending something to a man, it has to emphasize certain things. If you are sending some information about the same product to a woman, you may want to highlight some other features. For a man, a car, how fast it goes, how much it can turn on a dime, they are the things that are important. Whereas if you are trying to sell a car to a woman, that person is interested in the colors, whether the car paint will be scratched by their nails, because women may be growing nails. So you have to know what are the things you need to talk to, and accordingly you have to use different tones and different types of things that you need to emphasize. So learn to write the same email, same content in different styles and different tones. That's one important thing. Do send a well-written email, first of all, without spelling mistakes. And also it has to be short. I have gotten emails with paragraph after paragraph of material. Nobody has time to read it. Okay, so write not more than 30-40 words. Make it 2 short paragraphs, and make sure that you include your contact information. So these are all the important things, as you can see here. I would say, even this email is a little longer, as you see in the picture. If you can boil it down to 2 or 2.5 paragraphs, that would be much, much better. So think about it. Do follow up persistently. The first email you send, do you think they will click? Most likely not, because they are getting hundreds of emails. You are just one of them, right? So you need to send a follow-up email, the third email, fourth email, and only by fourth or fifth email, they will be thinking, "Oh, I have been getting many emails from this person. Maybe I should click on that." Okay. And don't send emails that look like templates. That is, you created one script and you are going to copy paste it for everybody. "Dear customer, we are selling this product. We would like you to come into our store and buy this product." That's a very like a template. You can say, "Dear John, dear Sam, dear Mike, dear Kim, dear Chris." You may want to use different types of emails so that you will be able to make a connection. And there are some ways of doing it, and you have to learn how to use the mail merge feature so that you can create those type of customized emails according to the person. If you have any questions, check with me. I will teach you how to do custom mail merge so that you can customize the email for different people. I do that all the time. Approaching through online social networks, you have to know how to contact the people when it comes to, say, LinkedIn. How are you going to introduce yourself? Why are you trying to connect with them on LinkedIn or Google Plus? Google Plus was a website, but they have closed it down. It doesn't exist anymore. But there are various ways how you can network, and even Facebook or Twitter or what is that thing, Instagram. So there are a whole bunch of things that you can do. Now, if your customer is very young, okay, and they are in their teenage or in their young 20s, early 20s, then they may be using Snapchat. That means you have to learn how to use Snapchat even if you are not a Snapchat person. You have to be where the customers are, okay? So you have to learn how you can make a very powerful transition to make a positive impression with the customer. And also on LinkedIn, when you are trying to make a connection with a new person, do make a comment saying that you got to know about them through a particular conference, or you heard one of their presentations on a podcast, or you read an article that they had written in a journal and you were very impressed and that you would like to connect with them. So you have to make those kind of credible piece of information so that they like you. Liking you as a salesperson is very, very important, and the first impressions can really decide whether they like you or not. Do aim for quality over quantity. That is, you don't want to be contacting 500 people on LinkedIn. You just need only 50 people. But out of those 50 people, if 30 or 40 are buying, that's much better, rather than selling to 60 out of, say, 5,000, right? Because you will be spending a lot of time trying to connect with all those different people. So focus on quality of your connections when it comes to approaching the customer. Do contribute to the community. So if you are a part of stamp collectors association, okay, and if you have some special story about a stamp, write a blog post about it. Or if somebody is trying to collect some stamps, you can kind of give them a quick hello and say, hey, you know what, I know that you are interested in that. Maybe I can help you with that because I know so and so person has this. So if you are able to make those kind of small chit chat and make some small help, then the community of people will start liking you and they will start trusting you. So these are all the important things. Don't let your language get sloppy, okay? You have to make sure that you follow proper decorum. That is one reason why you don't want to drink too much in case if you're of the legal age, because once people start to drink, they may kind of loosen up a bit and there may be some bad words that may come out of their mouth, which may not be liked by the customer because the customer may be a purist. They may be in their 60s or 70s and they don't want to hear you kind of, bad mouthing and things like that. So just be sure about that. And when you are approaching, don't make a sales pitch because they know that lots of people are waiting in line to sell the products to them, right? So you don't want to make a sales pitch that is, hey, come and buy from me, this is the best product, like that. You don't want that to happen. So try to be a friendly person, and I'm sure people will start liking it. So these are all the important things that you have to remember, and what are the things you can do or not do. So if you start thinking about it and figure out who you are as a person, what's your personality, are you an outgoing person, do you have a helping tendency? So if you are starting to think about it, that means you are on the right track, because that is exactly what the salespeople do. Okay, so I will stop there and I will catch you in the next video clip where we talk about the do's and don'ts of social networking. Okay.